No one in Hollywood interviews quite like Dakota Johnson. She doesn't overshare. She doesn't oversell. She doesn't even seem like she's trying. But somehow, she leaves everyone obsessed. One minute she's on national TV explaining why she might fall off the earth, because apparently her feet are too small for her body. The next, she's telling a story about knocking over an entire set piece at SNL and casually joking about it, like it's completely normal. And then, there's her infamous jersey at a Mets game, DJ 69. Not 23, not 7, 69. And when asked why, she just shrugged. Somehow, Dakota blends elegance with chaos, glamour with goofiness, and in a sea of overly rehearsed celebrities, she stands out for being whatever the opposite of that is. But here's the thing, none of it feels forced. She's not trying to go viral. She just does. So how did Dakota Johnson become one of the most accidentally iconic and deeply unpredictable celebrities in Hollywood? Is it all part of some genius plan? Or is she just that effortlessly weird? Let's find out. Dakota Johnson doesn't just do interviews. She disrupts them. Most celebrities show up with pre-approved stories, polished sound bites, and fake laughter on demand. Dakota? She shows up with dry sarcasm, pauses that make hosts visibly nervous, and stories that sound like weird dreams you half remember the next day. She talks about tripping over set pieces, like she's describing a walk in the park. Tells you she fears falling, not just in heels, but off the earth. Then somehow pivots into baseball, and when asked how many innings are in a game, she confidently says, 9. And it's not just what she says. It's how she says it. Deadpan. Deliberate. Just awkward enough to be hilarious. But never cringy. It's almost like she's playing a character. But she's not. That's the thing. This isn't a bit. Dakota Johnson really just seems like someone who lives in her own perfectly chaotic reality and brings us all along for the ride. She doesn't chase the moment. The moment just follows her. But that sense of randomness? It's actually more calculated than you might think. Most celebrities go to Cannes to walk red carpets, strike poses, and make headlines for looking flawless. Dakota Johnson? She showed up, tripped, and later admitted she wasn't even sure what happened. Only that she somehow fell in front of everyone, and then casually brushed it off, like she spilled a drink at brunch. But what makes the moment go viral isn't the fall. It's what she said after. She claimed her feet might be too small for her body, and that she's always scared of falling off the earth. Not slipping, not stumbling. Off the earth. And she meant it. It's the kind of comment that leaves the audience laughing, then rewinding, then wondering, wait, was she joking? This is peak Dakota, taking something embarrassing, turning it into a casual myth, and somehow making it charming. Most celebrities fall down and call it a PR crisis. Dakota turns it into lore. But that's just one side of her personality. Because when she's not falling on red carpets, she's making wildly intentional and confusingly brilliant style choices. Here's the thing about Dakota Johnson. The chaos might look random, but it never is. She shows up to talk shows in oversized blazers and no pants. She wears a custom Mets jersey that says DJ 69. Then smirks as the internet loses its mind. And when asked about it, she just says, naturally. It's chaotic. It's bold. But it's also smart. Because behind the absurdity is someone who clearly knows exactly what she's doing. Dakota isn't trying to be a mainstream movie star. She's building her own niche, one that doesn't follow the rules of Hollywood or anyone else. Look at her film choices: The Lost Daughter, Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Materialists. These aren't typical blockbuster roles. They're quiet, strange, emotionally layered films, and they usually come with a twist. Even the new one, Materialists, is marketed like a rom-com, but plays more like a rom-dramedy, with undertones of emotional wreckage and weird intimacy. Exactly the kind of project she gravitates toward. And guess what? She's not just starring in these films. She's producing them. Through her own company, TeaTime Pictures. This isn't someone stumbling through fame. This is someone who's crafting a very specific and very unpredictable path. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This is the question that drives the internet crazy. Is Dakota Johnson in on the joke? Or is she the joke accidentally? Take her book club, for example. She promotes it on Instagram with what look like paparazzi shots of her reading in public. Except, the books are clearly photoshopped in. Poorly. One image has her casually holding a novel while walking, with the book tilted perfectly toward the camera, like a glitch in the Matrix. And instead of denying it, she just leans into the absurdity. Then there's her now infamous fake baseball trivia moment. Asked what happens if a baseball game ends in a tie, she confidently says, "They all go home and have a barbecue." Dead serious. No punchline. Just Dakota being Dakota. And that's the thing. You never know when she's joking. She speaks in this oddly soothing tone, like she's either totally sincere or absolutely trolling. But you can't tell which. It's not performance, it's presence. And the mystery of whether she's crafting a persona or just living her truth has turned Dakota into a kind of modern myth. But behind that myth is someone who's been slowly, quietly, reshaping the rules of stardom. Dakota Johnson is in Hollywood, but she's not of Hollywood. She doesn't fit the traditional mold. She's not trying to be America's sweetheart, a blockbuster queen, or an activist influencer hybrid. She's somewhere in between, or maybe entirely outside of it. While other celebrities chase attention with perfectly scripted interviews and brand partnerships, Dakota's out here producing art house films, promoting them with sarcastic Instagram posts, and giving interviews that feel more like improv sketches. She co-founded her own production company, TeaTime Pictures, not just to create roles for herself, but to champion strange, emotionally complex stories. The ones that big studios usually pass on. She's played a submissive in 50 Shades, a grieving daughter in The Lost Daughter, and now in Materialists, she portrays a character that lives somewhere between charming, reckless, and emotionally wrecked. There's a theme here. Dakota isn't afraid to be unlikable on screen, or strange, or quiet, and that's powerful. Because in an industry obsessed with control and likability, she's doing the opposite. And people are loving her for it. She doesn't try to control her image. She just keeps being Dakota. And that chaotic authenticity, it's turned her into the internet's favorite enigma. But why exactly are we all so obsessed? There's no shortage of celebrities online. But there's only one Dakota Johnson. The internet isn't obsessed with her because she overshares. It's obsessed because she doesn't. She'll say just enough to make you laugh, and then leave you wondering if she was serious. She shows up to promote a movie, and somehow ends up talking about falling downstairs, her feet being too small, and making up fake baseball players named Gary Rickelson. None of it makes sense. But somehow, all of it feels honest. She's the anti-celebrity in an age of over-curated content. Where most stars work overtime to appear relatable, Dakota just is. She's awkward, weird, witty, and completely unpredictable. The kind of person who could derail a talk show segment and still walk away with the internet calling her iconic. And that mystery? That, wait, what just happened? Energy? That's exactly why people can't stop watching her. Because in a world where everything feels rehearsed, Dakota Johnson is a beautiful glitch in the algorithm. But the real reason we're all so drawn to her might be even deeper than that. At first glance, Dakota Johnson seems like just another actress with famous parents, a few indie films, and a dry sense of humor. But when you really watch her, the talk shows, the viral clips, the subtle chaos, it becomes clear. She's not just playing the game, she's rewriting it. While everyone else polishes their image, Dakota cracks hers open. While other celebrities cling to likability, she leans into discomfort. And while most stars promote their careers, Dakota turns every appearance into something stranger, something unforgettable. She's the celebrity who'll call out a host to their face, fall off a set and laugh about it, promote her book club with fake paparazzi shots, and somehow make it all feel intentional. Because maybe that's the point. Maybe Dakota Johnson doesn't care whether she confuses you, as long as you remember her. And in an industry built on perfection, maybe a little beautiful chaos is exactly what we need. If you're as fascinated by Dakota Johnson's controlled chaos as we are, hit that like button and let us know your favorite Dakota moment in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because this definitely isn't the last time Hollywood's weirdest icon steals the spotlight.